Sixth grade, welcome back to history class. We'll finish up lesson 3 today. Yesterday we were talking about the kind of government we had, the representative government we have that sets up a federal system. Federal, we might use the word national for it. Our federal government is split into 3 equal parts. We like that because we like to have what we call the separation of power, and it forms checks and balances. So the executive branch, our president, his job is to enforce the laws that our legislative branch, the U.S. Congress, makes. But if he doesn't like a law they make, he can veto it. The judicial branch, which is our Supreme Court, can do all those things. They can say it's not, the law you made is not constitutional to go along with it. They can play different rules in that. So guys, following those arrows, you see how they check and balance each other. It was a great practice for us to understand that our government, the other thing to remember with our government, goes back to Greece. That's the city of Athens specifically, and Rome. And then we went to finishing up yesterday talking about the rights of citizenship. We had a big, huge, long list of different rights that we have. Today we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the duties and responsibilities of what it means to be a citizen. Page 46 if you're in your book following along. If not, feel free to follow along with me. I'm starting down here. By law, citizens must carry out some duties. So what your book did is said, hey, remember all those wonderful rights you have? Good. It comes at a price tag. Let's understand the price tag. Price tag number 1, obey all federal, state, and local laws is one of the first duties of a citizen. You're working your way through number 1 right now. You got your first blank filled in. Citizens also have a duty to pay their taxes, letter B, to the federal, state, and local governments. These taxes pay for services provided by government to the American people. Citizens must serve on a jury if the government asks them to. So that's letter C, guys. There's no blanks there, but lots of times you will be requested to be on a jury. I've been asked to be on jury duty a number of times, or to be an alternate. In other words, if there's a court case, they need to pick 12 jurors. Well, they really pick 50 guys and ladies, and then they'll slowly weed some in and out, and then you might get picked or not picked to be able to do those things. But when you're asked to go to jury duty, you don't have a choice. You must go. This service is needed in order to honor people's right to a fair trial by jury. Finally, citizens must be ready to defend the United States and the Constitution, letter D. And what goes along with that, guys, is for males, you are required at the age of 18 to register to be called up to the Army. So we haven't had to draft people in since the Vietnam War, but if we would go to enough wars that they could literally say, you're up, you are now in our Army, we need you to defend the United States. Our military today is so big based on people who volunteer. In other words, I graduate high school and I go into the Army by myself, I just choose to go to the Army. We have enough in the military right now that we haven't had to make people do that, but we need to be ready. World War II was a great example, guys. World War II started, and they just signed up, and then other people were requested, let's go, because you have to defend the United States and its Constitution. All right, continuing on. Number 2, people born in other countries can become U.S. citizens. First, they must go through what's called naturalization. What does this mean? This is a process of applying for and being granted citizenship. To qualify, you have to have lived in the United States a certain period of time. Then you have to show good moral character. In other words, you didn't break any laws. We don't want people coming from other countries, living in America, breaking laws, and then trying to become a citizen. You have to be able to know basic English, and you must know U.S. history and government. In addition, you must swear to uphold all the duties of citizenship. That's just a picture of a family becoming this U.S. citizens. But guys, this is, I think, a major challenge that America government is dealing with right now. In other words, part of the topics in our government is illegal immigrants. Well, a lot of people say, well, we don't want illegal immigrants. Well, why are they coming illegally? Well, because this list right here might be too hard for them. You think about how hard it would be for you to say, if you wanted to go live in China, how long would it take for you to have a basic knowledge of Chinese, know Chinese history and government, and then promise to uphold all the duties? That would take some time. That's a difficult ask. And so a lot of people are saying, this is too hard, so I'm just going to come into America illegally. Well, we don't want that. We want citizens, so maybe we need to think about this. So this is what's up for debate today, guys, when it comes to citizenship. Continuing on. In addition to their duties, citizens also have responsibilities. Citizens should stay informed about important issues. You're into 3, the first blank 3A, or topics. An awareness of critical issues, such as a concern for the global environment, will help them make wise choices when they vote in federal, state, and local elections. Okay? Voting is a powerful right and a key responsibility of citizenship. If people do not vote, they give away their part of their voice in the government. I talked a little bit about this yesterday about the power of voting, and if you don't vote, man, you shouldn't be complaining. But guys, there's a lot that goes along with voting. I can't stress this enough. There are so many key issues that, 1, people just aren't informed on, or 2, people are misinformed on. I think we have a wonderful challenge. I don't know if wonderful is the right word in America today, because so many people get their news from social media. Well, guys, there's nobody on social media that is required by law to tell the truth. There's nobody on a news station that is required by law to tell the truth. We always watch the news and we assume they're just telling us the truth. But guys, that's not necessarily true, okay? So we, to become informed, have to do a lot of work, and a lot of Americans don't take the time to do the work. A lot of Americans will cruise down their social media feeds and just read a title and never the article that goes along with the title. And everybody who works in social media and the news knows that. So they write these crazy titles knowing that it's done with that. So make sure you're informed on these important issues and that you learn every side of the story that goes along with that. Okay, I'll give you an example. The concern for global environment. So we're pushing for renewable energy. Great thing. So I decided that I want to go buy an electric car because that doesn't burn any gas, so I'm helping the environment. But my electric car, guys, runs on electricity. Now, where do we get the electricity from? Well, we get electricity today in America mainly from coal. So I'm not using gas in my car, but I'm using coal for electricity. It's pretty much doing the exact same thing. But too many people just say, I'm driving an electric car, I'm saving the world. Well, that's awesome, that's true, but you got to understand where your electricity comes, and too often people don't think of that. So make sure we understand everything as we go through that. Continuing on. Finally, citizens should take part in their local community. I'm sorry, I skipped a paragraph. Citizens should also respect the rights and views of other people. That was your letter C there in number 3. The United States welcomes people from many different backgrounds. They all share the same freedoms. Before you deny a right to someone else, put yourself in that person's place. Think how you would feel if someone tried to take away your rights. Man, is that a great paragraph. And I think it's something that we need to, as Americans, continue to work forward to say that with religion, to say that with gender, to say that with age, to say that with ethnicity. Do I treat men and women the same way? Do I treat young people and old people the same way? Do I treat whites and blacks and Latinos the same way? Guys, those are the questions we have to make sure we're doing. Respect the views of other people. In America, we're awful at that. Our politicians give us the worst examples. All the politicians do is yell and spew hate at the other ones. Well, they're not giving us a good example. I can disagree with your view, but we can still have a conversation, and I can still respect you as a person and listen to you, and you might try to convince me that the Vikings are the best football team, and I might try to convince you that the Packers are the best football team, and in the end, we might not agree, but that doesn't make you wrong or me right. It doesn't make me look down on you. Too often, guys, when we have different views on society or politics, we think it's a right and a wrong and a good and an evil. It's okay to have different views. We need to be way more understanding and loving. So, man, pray to God for help on this paragraph, and pray to God for help in our country so that we can keep working toward respecting people from different backgrounds. Okay, I had started this one and then I realized I had messed up. Here we go. Finally, citizens should take part in their local community. That's D. There's no fill in the blank. By working with one another, we help make our neighborhoods and towns better places to live. There are different ways to keep our community strong. We can volunteer our time, we can join neighborhood groups, and we can serve in public office. Volunteer our time is a good thing. Some of the things we have to do in our communities is just keep them clean. Not understanding our duties as a citizen when we throw trash and stuff. We got to keep working to make sure those things are happening in the right way. And now they're going to take it and challenge you to get a little bit bigger. We're pretty good at thinking about being a U.S. citizen and the freedoms we have, but can you take that to a large scale and be a global citizen? Today, the world faces many problems that go beyond the borders of any one country. Threats to the health of the environment, such as pollution or the destruction of a tropical rainforest, affect people living in many different places. Many countries also have close economic ties to other nations. Because of these ties, economic problems in one country affect other countries. In addition, the idea is growing around the world that all people should have certain basic human rights. World leaders must work together to deal with these issues. Okay, so guys, that was number 4 in there, that these world leaders have to work together. A couple of key points I want to point out with that. I talked about driving that electric car to save the environment. Great thing. I need to understand that this is a world problem. So America can make all the rules it wants to try to protect its environment. But if China and Russia and other countries don't have those rules, it's a lost cause. And it's literally one of the things America is dealing with right now, is we are trying to make rules in America to protect the environment, and other countries aren't. And it's literally hurting our economy because it's making it more expensive for us to build certain things, and other countries aren't doing that. So what we're doing is we're trying to put pressure on other countries to say, hey, you got to do the same thing we're doing. We got to start to understand this global thing. This sentence down here, guys, the basic human rights for all people, that's getting us in trouble. As far as, do we want it? Yes. Have we gone to war for it? Yes. Should we? That's a decision you have to make for yourself as you grow up. There will be people that say, hey, why did you go to war in Iraq and Afghanistan, America? And lots of times you'll hear the military people say, because we want to give those people over their freedoms, some basic human rights that they don't have right now. And yet, we have to decide if that's our job to do or not, guys. I don't have an easy answer for that. You need to think about that. It's not my job to give you my views. It's my job to make sure you're thinking about those things, to say, hey, if I lived in this country, would I want these rights, or would I not want them? We always look at ourselves as a good guy. So America's going to go into Iraq and try to free the people of the bad government. Can you imagine if it was the other way around? What happens if China came to America and picked a fight with us to say, we want your people to have these rights that they currently do not have right now? We'd be like, no, China, get out of here. This is America. We'll take care of ourselves. Now, that's what a lot of people in other countries say about us. Keep that in mind. Paragraph 2, being a global citizen means learning about the different issues that affect the world as a whole. It means taking care of the environment. It also means understanding how people live in other countries. We are all affected by drought and hunger or economic troubles in other countries. Once we understand one another's way of life, fill in your blank, we can work together more easily to solve big problems. Guys, we never want to live in ignorance. I want to know how other people live and act and what's important to them, and respect their way of life so that I can help work with them for the best for everybody involved. Being a global citizen does not mean giving up your duties and responsibilities as a citizen of the United States. It does mean thinking about how you can make the world a better place by your actions. Making the effort to stay informed and to respect the views of others helps all Americans. Through that same effort, you can also help the rest of the world. And so, guys, you had your fill in the blank coming from that paragraph as well. Make sure we understand it's a big world we live in, and we want to make the world a better place. My encouragement that I'm going to give you in this paragraph, guys, is we're thinking about others, making the world a better place, so that by our actions we're doing those things. So you're looking not to yourself, not just America, but to anybody we can help and be a blessing to. All right, we got done with lesson 3. Therefore, there's a worksheet that goes with it. Understand that worksheet covers yesterday and today. Blessings on it.